going to get our thinking caps on and think about the thinking. And there are different levels of thinking, okay? I'm going to look at the base level, the very basic level of thinking, which is radiant thinking. I want everybody in their mind right now to think of apple. Think of apple. Okay? Who saw a red apple? Green apple? Apple iPod computer, Stephen Jobs apple, Gwyneth Paltrow's daughter apple. Okay, who saw APPLE? Oh, okay, some do.
No.
Who saw it?
Sorry, I thought you meant the apple pineapple pen thing.
Oh,
That's what I thought of.
No. So, who saw an image or a ghost of an image or a thought? Or as soon as I said apple, you couldn't help but connect to something else and something else. And then if we said Stephen Jobs, what's the first thing that pops in your head?
Black turtleneck.
Okay. Think of unemployment. What pops in your head?
Centrelink.
Centrelink.
Malcolm Fraser.
Malcolm Fraser. Yeah, okay. And our brain can't help but make connections and associations, can it? Right. So radiant thinking is the very basis of our thinking. Here's a little neuron, a little brain cell. We've got a million of these little suckers, all capable of making up to 50,000 connections or thoughts or ideas. So each idea, each thought is actually real. It's a physical thought, it's a physical thing. So when you have an aha moment, you make one connection from one brain cell to another brain cell. Now there was a guy who sort of investigated this and how many possible thoughts we could have. And his name was Professor Anakin at Moscow University. Now Anakin.
Star Wars.
Okay, who thought of Star Wars? As soon as I said Anakin. All right. So you're wondering why on earth I'm talking about neurophysiology and brain plasticity, and all of a sudden Star Wars comes in your head. Well, it's because these connections, these associations, one idea connects to another. Now I think his name's actually pronounced Anokin or something like that. But if I said Anokin, your brain's just going to go boring. But if I said Anakin, you're going to go Star Wars. So our brain starts from a central point and radiates out in different directions. So have you ever had to plan something, to think about something, and you start planning a nice white piece of paper or a nice white Word document, and you start planning and you start putting all the documents, bullet points down, all of a sudden your brain just goes blah all over the place, and you've got to go up and down a Word document and trying to put things together. Or is anybody studying at the moment? Okay, everybody else has got a life. Well done. Okay, so what we know of our brain, it starts from a single point and radiates out. This is what we call radiant thinking. Now, this isn't a debate, but my learned colleagues are going to propose that things like lateral thinking or parallel thinking are the best kind of thinkings. But we know that they're hard for our brain because our brain just wants to keep doing this and connect and connect and connect. Now, parallel thinking, what Edward says is, don't do this all the time. Let's just take one type of thinking at a time. So let's just take this type of thinking, then this type of thinking, then this type of thinking, and lay it in parallel. Well, your brain just goes, no, I want this. Give me this, give me this. I want to jump here to here to here. Have you ever been in a 15-minute meeting that's lasted 3 hours? Okay, because people want to jump around and radiate. Now, if you understand how to harness the power of radiant thinking, how your brain works, and take notes in a way that's radiant, because who sort of, multitask, got this to do and that to do and this to do and that to do and all these sorts of different things. Well, if you take notes in a way that's in tune with your brain, radiant thinking, then you'll be able to harness this radiant nature of your brain, the creative nature of your brain, because as soon as you think of something, you have an idea or go plan something, and your brain just, these different ideas pop in your head. So harness the power of that. And the best tool to harness the power of radiant thinking is what we call mind maps. Who's heard of mind maps before? Who's used mind maps in the last week? Woohoo! Fantastic. Excellent. Now, Bill's claim to fame is that on our very first date, he gave me the mind map book by Tony Buzan. And Tony loves that story because mind maps bring true love. But I left school at 15 and had real troubles learning and thinking. And then when Bill showed me this whole concept of radiant thinking, I went, that's it. I finally get how my brain works. So this is a mind map of the conference here at Creative Innovation. And rather than the boring 5-page brochure and things like that, we've got to read everything. This is just a snapshot, a roadmap. Now, who still actually has a Melways in their car? Yeah, maybe just actually use it, whatever. Okay, in the old days, when you used to get the Melways out and you used to have to go somewhere, you used to go to the first map and you go, that's where I want to go, and you know where to go to for more information, the more detailed map. Okay, a mind map is like the big picture, the overview map, and you know where to go to for more detail. Whether it's something to get information into your head, like a conference, or you know, so on the right hand side is some of the key elements, on the left hand side are the plenary themes. So it's getting stuff into your head, or if you want to get stuff out of your head, the best tool to use is a mind map, whether it's brainstorming, thinking, planning, or anything like that. So mind maps are the Swiss Army knife for the brain, and come because of this key concept, an understanding of that our brain works radiantly. No matter what the other guys say, radiant thinking rules, okay? Rocks. Is that my 5 minutes?
Thank you. Round of applause.
Thank you.